Welcome to Rochester, a city we need to take. Right now we are busy trying to disrupt the supply route, and it's looking good. But here they have knights.
With the traders eliminated, the king's army had struck a blow to the rebels in the castle. With supplies critically low, the rebel commander discharged his weakest fighters, hoping to preserve what little food remained. Fearing further dissent against his rule, King John ordered safe passage for the surrendered rebels away from Rochester. The king's men discovered the farmlands that supplied the rebels at Rochester. If the rebels lost access to the food supplies, some of them would be forced to flee.
Nice. Very nice. So we effectively weaken the castle, its defenses. Alrighty, so we're going to destroy the mills. Just going to wait for Mogs to heal the rest of our units.
Your Hesters will be a lasting in point.
Ready to go.
I mean, our resource situation is perfect.
Is he ready for commands? It is team. Good, read and forth. This sergeants at arms, detective.
The knights are ridiculously strong, because we gave them all the upgrades, and now in melee combat they're just damn.
Ready to go? Building to put it up.
What would thou havest me do? Nitus, fuse for glory. Nitus, in God fettle no. Forte. Ich am at die command. He shall do anywhere. Where Nitas are ready for Jontel Nitas forthwardes to Mikkel glory. Nitas fuse for glory. Obeisance is me honor. And team of glory. Take his team, Nitas! And he hang there. You have Nitas on the ready. Anywhere. There is nothing but relic than victory! Nitas, you ready for commanders? Nitas, you ready for commanders? Nites fuse for glory! Nites in good battle no! For that! Nites, you ready for command? Nites worship! He come up and honor! Freedom for well! He shall be working nothing, yet he well! Come and honor. And he called me duty. Need to fuse it. Oh,
Lernos.
Oh, holy okie dokie. No, we have a problem. Okay. Goodbye. Okay, so if we stay too long, they're gonna come outside and yeah, well, make us sorry. Did I mad? I'm not sure if we should attempt to fight against that big an army.
Nites urcesoris ferm. Mi weapon napes. Yef me work.
Be ready for the next worker on the roller. Yeah, you ready?
Oh, Jesus.
Where Nitas are ready for stir.
Ich shall obey.
He shall anywhere. Honor, breed unto well. Nitas fuse for glory.
Lernos, freres. Let us forth.
And Nitas, ready for command. Spricken, Jontils, and servant with honor.
He honor Estes. Command, so will it bail. Your will.
It is team, Nitas. Ut breed and forth. Nitas, Jontil Nitas, forth to Mikkel glory. Nitas, you ready for commands? Nitas, in good battle no. An honor to Donna. It is team, Nitas. Ut breed and forth. Send us always reckless misdeed. Omniscience is me honor. Nitas, you ready for commands? Nitas, pushes all his family. Because Jontil Nitas, fortwardes to Mikkel glory! Nitas urceson is family! Where Jontil Nitas, fortwardes to Mikkel glory! We're taking fire on us! Nitas would read and fall!
With the farms alight, King John's chokehold on the rebels was tightening. Cut off from all hope of resupply, more of the rebels were forced to abandon the fight.
Nice. That's a lot. Damn, how many soldiers were in this castle?
Your agents understood.
Where Nita's on.
Hey, Anu, getting on with it. Getting on with it. Lernos, Mefreres, letting us forth, God.
Yeah? What needest thou of me? Ichel steeren at die hester.
The siege engines are ready. Siege engines are ready.
We fell in the end. Die sergeants of the Where's? Sergeants of the Gangan!
They should join me, that would make this much easier.
Uncommon, sit the forward.
Frackers, with the siege engine. Following the siege engine, ya frackers. The siege engine, good. We have to hit when I build gun. Is this for the engine?
Yeah, you're ready for action. Yeah.
Your company will be welcome, Frecken.
The siege getting on meat.
Nita, you're there. You're
Siege engines at the ready.
We are awaiting for the hesters, Relic.
Frackers. Has the siege doing that now? There, Michelle, ye Leicester. Be
Rochester's outer wall crumbled to King John's men, and they descended on the keep. great keep at Rochester fell at the hands of the king's army, securing both the castle and the route to London. While the fight for England raged on, a desperate King John clung to the throne.
People often imagine that castle walls were just left as bare stone, but in fact they weren't. They were plastered, painted, and decorated.
The process of making medieval paint begins in a quarry.
This is a sandstone with a really high iron content. In it, we find pockets of ochre. This is iron oxide, like rust, and the ochre is one of the main ingredients in pigment making.
First, the ochre is crushed into a fine powder.
The finer the particles in paint, the better the paint will be.
Once ground up, water is added. Then the mixture is sieved.
This is the exact opposite of making pasta at home. At home, when you sieve your pasta, you then keep it for your meal. Here, what's going to end up in the sieve will be discarding.
What's needed are the tiny particles suspended in the water.
Once it's dry, it's going to look something like this. You can see that all the water has evaporated, leaving just this very fine crust, which will then be ground into the fine pigment which is used to make paint.
But ochre's colour palette doesn't end there. If it's heated, something magical happens. Yellow ochre turns red. And heating it for even longer creates a whole spectrum of colours.
It's been burnt for over 72 hours at 1,000 degrees Celsius, and that gives us this incredible purple colour.
To turn the pigment into paint, it's bound together with egg and tree sap.
A popular motif in the Middle Ages was the use of stones and roses. That's where you paint on blocks of stone to make it look like you could afford to pay stonemasons to produce dress blocks of stone and then decorate them with 5-petaled flowers.
So, medieval castles were far from the gloomy places we imagine today. They were full of colour and light.
I mean, if you could afford to live in a castle, most common people. Did you actually know, I'm not sure if you do, medieval ages, the peasants were the property of their lord? You heard right, property. That's slavery with another name. Well, I certainly don't want to live in the medieval ages. Especially because, you know, in ancient times when the Romans, the Roman Empire, the Greeks existed, at least they had water pipes, flush. You had decent toilet systems. A couple centuries later down the road in the medieval ages, you didn't have decent toilet systems, so yeah, no thank you. We're going to watch The Siege of Rochester again, in case you haven't seen it yet, because this is part 2. And then we're going to call it quits. And as far as I know, we have just one more campaign mission to do until we're done with this first act of Age of Empires 4.
In the year prior to the defence of Dover, King John's defiance of the Magna Carta had mired England in a rebellion known as the First Barons' War. Across England, barons broke ties with the crown and seized important cities, including Rochester. With his reign under threat, John deployed his forces to retake Rochester and capture the traitors.